All right, we are live beyond the spread. I got a few things we want to talk about. We got some games going on right now. Look, it's been a cold couple weeks. Haven't won a bet in a long time. Maybe because I'm starting to I just parlay everything. I'm like, oh, like this looks like a lock. Like, why shouldn't they win this? And then it's college basketball. Anything can happen. We're at the beginning of March, so it's like, oh, let's just throw a couple games in together and see what happens. Lose by a couple legs or even a leg, and it's just depression. It's like, why do I keep putting myself through this when I should just make straight bets? Just make one bet at a time. And I'm just too dumb enough. I'm just too dumb to do that. That's just what it is. I'm just too dumb to do that. But here we are. We're back. We're live again. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. While we're on the topic, it's officially March. We've made it, boys. I am excited for this. I'm excited to watch these games at work. I'm excited to maybe put them on my laptop at work. I'm excited for hey, especially the first round of 64. I feel like you have to almost be. I feel like you almost have to be over the top watching these games, or make a sick day. Make a sick day. That first Friday, games rolling at 10 a.m. We're getting things started. You're putting your bets in. You're looking at all these amazing things, and you're like, the board is absolutely beautiful right now. I got the quad box going on the TV. I got a game on my laptop. It's fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. And everyone who is a sports fan, if you're watching this, you're downloading the March Madness app. You're downloading Tournament Challenge from ESPN. You're doing all these things just to be involved in the March Madness because it is fucking chaotic, and it's just the best. It is the best playoffs that there are in the sport. In any sports, I would say, anything can happen. Because when you go up against these teams that you don't know a lot about, you just kind of see film on them. You're like, oh, we're better than these guys. And you come out and you're fucking Virginia losing to a 16 seed. Anything can happen. It is March. We are here. Let's win some fucking bets. Again, I think I've been boiling it down the last few days. It's Duke or Auburn. I honestly, I think it's going to be Duke's year just because Cooper Flag's ridiculous. Their length on offense and defense, and their rebounding is fucking great. Here's my thing. I'm a big Bruce Pearl fan. Again, I'm not the biggest Duke fan. I like Cooper Flag. He's dope. He's 19 years old, about to make hundreds of $millions before he's 21 years old. That's sick. I'm just not the biggest Duke fan. Bruce Pearl gives me the vibes that, look, he's never won one, right? I don't think he's ever won one, but I can't see it. I just can't see it. I can see Duke winning it just because they're Duke, right? I can see that. Auburn winning, getting to a Final Four even for that fact, I don't see it. I really don't. Last time they were there was Charles Barkley maybe? I mean, I like Bruce Pearl. I think he's a great coach. I think he's a great guy. It is hilarious to see him yell and lose his voice at the end of games, all that kind of stuff. I want to believe. I really do. I just think it's set up for Duke at this moment. They got the team. John Shire, whatever his name is. John Shire, the coach, Duke. It just feels like it's just now. It just feels like it's here. Now, they could end up losing. They do have some older players, but they still have some young guys running that court up and down the floor. Cooper Flag is the heart and soul of that offense. Everything goes through him. If they need a bucket, Cooper go get one or make a fucking play. So that's kind of where I'm at. I want it to be Auburn. Let me get that straight. I do want it to be Auburn. It just feels like it's Duke, just because Duke hasn't won. Here goes my tinfoil hat. I love my tinfoil hat. I just feel like Duke hasn't won one in a while. They'll make a deep run. Again, if we get, I don't know how the bracket's going to shake out, but if we get Duke Auburn in a fucking championship game, that'd be absolutely electric. If you can make that happen, make that happen. That's all I really got right now. I mean, we're going into conference championship week. The bracket's going to start coming out. First four in, last four out, all that kind of shit. Yeah. The next big thing that I have, let's just talk a little NBA. We got some NBA news and we got some NFL news. And then I'm just going to I have a couple pet peeves. I know one off the top of my head. It involves driving, to say the least. It involves driving. Shit that, I'm not going to call it pet peeves. I had it. Not make my blood boil. That's a good one. What am I thinking of? Shit that grinds my gears. There it is. The shit that grinds my gears at the end. We're going to go shit that grinds my gears at the end. Shit that grinds the gears. Grinds gears. I have one off the top of my head. I forgot the other one. I had two the other day, and I was like, this pisses me off and this pisses me off. NBA news. Where do we want to start? I think the most important one is the Dallas Mavericks. They are just... Look, the guys are going to fight hard. I don't know what seed they're in right now, like the 5-6 area probably, maybe even 8. I don't know. They haven't really had the... They started out good before they got rid of Luka, and when he got hurt or, put him on the bench, however you want to look at it. Kyrie tore his ACL last night. Shout out Kyrie. He's actually a dog. You can say what you want about Kyrie. He's a fucking bucket. He's pure. He's nasty. His handles, he's, 6'2", 6'3", and he's making, 6'5" guards look foolish. He's making bigs look foolish. I think he has the best handles ever in the entire association. Kyrie tore his ACL last night. It sucked. Or 2 nights ago, one of the two. It was bad. He did shoot his free throws. I know he's gonna make a full comeback. I'm not worried about Kyrie. He's too fucking good. It just sucks to see because Dallas was really fighting for they could have made a deep playoff run with Jason Kidd as their coach. They do have some solid bigs. They had a lot of length. Anthony Davis, all this kind of stuff. What's the other guy's name? Maxi was Kleber on this still? I don't know if Kleber was in the trade or not, but I'm thinking of bald head number 21. Line. Fuck, I can't think of his name. Anyways, if you're watching the NBA, you know what I'm talking about. They had a lot of bigs. They had a lot of bigs. They could stretch the floor. Anthony Davis was going to be huge for him and Kyrie. So yeah, that just sucks. Let's just go to this one. Joel Embiid. So he got shut down for the season. I think people saw it coming. It's weird. I mentioned it last week or even the week before. He had to get shut down because his MCL or something like that in his knee. His knee is all fucked up. So they're probably going to have to do the surgery where they dislocate his hip and then put his knee back into place or something like that. I don't know. It's a bizarre surgery. I bet you he's gone to fucking 20 doctors all over the world. But this is a quote from shout out Legion Hoops. Legion Hoops is a good follow. 76ers could petition for medical retirement for Joel Embiid if he's unable to play a year from now. At that point, an independent doctor selected by the NBA and NBPA Players Association would examine Embiid. If agreed he can no longer play, his remaining contract will be wiped off the books from the Sixers. So if they're like, hey, Joel Embiid, you can't play ever again or you're not going to walk again, we can clean your hands of it, all that kind of shit. It's bizarre. From my viewpoint, that is a bizarre thing to do. I'm not fat shaming, but if Buddy could lose, probably 15, 20 pounds, I don't think he would have these problems. Oh, he's not going to be as dominant. Oh, blah, blah. Yes, he will, because he's still 7'2" and can shoot mid-range three-pointers, and he can back anyone down. He can. He absolutely can. But just lose a few pounds, and I think this kind of gets solved almost immediately. That's my take. I could be way wrong on that, but if you lose a few pounds, maybe you can, not have to do these surgeries every year. So yeah, that's crazy. This whole 76ers, Tyrese Maxey's still an absolute dog. Paul George says he's going to give up podcasting to focus on a playoff run with the Sixers. Maybe he was waiting for Joel Embiid to get shut down officially so he could try to take over the team. Who knows? Paul George and Kirk Cousins, bad getters. All they know how to do is play really good at their sport and get fucking paid. And they disappear in the playoffs. I think that is a perfect analogy. Kirk Cousins, Paul George, get fucking paid but disappear in the playoffs. So yeah, the 76ers experiment, I think Joel's going to come back. I'd be shocked if that surgery or if the medical exemption kind of thing shuts down his career, I really would be shocked. I think doctor's going to be like, hey, we're going to give you this surgery, but you have to lose fucking 20 pounds. And he'll be like, okay. Celtics beat the shit out of the Nuggets this last weekend. I stopped watching it halfway through, or like in the third quarter. I was like, we're done. It's over with. Celtics, I think, have a good chance at repeating. I think in a 7-game series between the Cavs and the Celtics, I think it's Celtics in 6, maybe 7. Cavs will have home court advantage unless they just have an astronomical blow up and end up losing the first seed to the Celtics. I think when they are on and they are just shooting lights out on the ball from the 3-point line, they are impossible to beat. But when they have those rough nights where like they have to make a comeback and the shots aren't falling from 3, that's when they're most vulnerable. I think that's always been the key with them. It's kind of like when the Warriors were doing the same kind of shit, but they had Steph, Clay, and KD. I mean, that's dangerous right there. But when the Celtics are just clicking and when Porzingis is healthy and he can do the pick and roll, he can do the pick and pop from the 3, I mean, they are fucking dangerous. I think they are beatable, not like last year. Like last year, it was like the Celtics are going to win this. They're going to steamroll through everyone. And when they get to the finals, they're just going to roll through everyone. Like, that's just what it was. Again, I'm a Nuggets fan. I am a little worried. I'm a little worried about what our identity is right now. I think we are solid in the paint on offensive side. Defensively, again, we have Jokic. He's never been a rim protector, but he's going to steal the ball. He's going to have good hands. He'll kick the ball if he needs to. When Jamal and Jokic are synced up, unbeatable. And when Aaron Gordon is healthy, I think we're really good. Almost unbeatable as well. Now, when we throw MPJ in the mix and we're like, oh, MPJ can stroke the fuck out of the ball for sure. I mean, again, when our core is on top, our core is playing at peak, best team in the world, in my humble opinion. We can beat the Celtics, no problem. Because we have the best player in the world. That's why. Now, when we don't have Aaron Gordon and we're shaky and Christian Braun's kind of having a bad game, or Naz Reid coming off the bench, who has been improving a lot lately. He's been defensive. He's been catching lobs. He can shoot a little bit. You know, it's still streaky here and there, but, I mean, he'll let that motherfucker, he'll let it go. He'll let it go from the corner. Easy. And when Russell's playing well, like, I think we're really good. And I'm praying for a Celtics-Nuggets finals matchup. Hoping we get there, because OKC is dangerous right now. If we get OKC and Cleveland, I'm still going to watch because it's the finals, and I love the finals, and I love playoff basketball. It probably won't be the most watched finals, but nevertheless, it'll still be the finals. That's a conversation for another time. That's viewership shit. I don't whatever about that. Now, the team that is making me nervous at this current moment in time, and they just moved into the second seed in the West. They've won like 6 or 10 out of the last 16 or something like that. I don't know the stat. The Los Angeles Lakers just moved second to the West. Luka and LeBron are clicking. Who would have thought? You know, 2 very high IQ guys getting the ball around, getting their shots up, making incredibly difficult shots. Who would have thought, right? You pair them together, don't be wrong. I'm scared of playoff LeBron. I'm scared of playoff Luka, all this kind of shit. They don't have a big, though. I'm not trusting Jackson Hayes down in the paint for a 7-game series against Chet Holmgren or even Jokic for that matter. Now, again, on the vice versa, you got to be like, oh, well, you have to guard Luka or LeBron. It's like, okay, that's fair. That's a fair point. I'll take MPJ trying to guard Luka, and I'll take Aaron Gordon guarding Braun. I don't know. But they're looking real scary right now. I was listening to the radio today. They're like, oh, don't have to worry about the Lakers. You don't have to worry about the Lakers. I'm worried about the Lakers a little bit, if I'm being completely honest. Are we in the trust tree? Are we in the circle? Are we in the tight circle? Is this an A-B conversation right now? We can see the other people way out. I'm a little worried about the Lakers. And I think I'm entitled to. Because it's LeBron. First of all, it's LeBron James. It's Luka Doncic who carried the Mavs to a finals last year. LeBron can turn it on and off whenever he wants. There's an argument right now. I mean, maybe not an argument, but Kendrick Perkins came out on, well, it might have been First Take today or the NBA show. I don't know. He said LeBron's the best player in the league. Like, Bron's been the best player in the league off and on for the last 20 years. Like, he's always been, I don't think he's ever got out of the top, like, 7 in my mind. Sure, like, last year and the year before, it's like, yeah, you can see the decline. You can absolutely see the decline. He's getting old, all this kind of shit. He's still averaging 25, 8, and 6. Shit that he's been doing for 20 years. Like, what? How is that fucking possible? And he might win, hot take, he might win an MVP this year. Like, he might fuck around and win an MVP this year. I'm not saying he's going to, but Braun should have at least 5 or 6 MVPs, if I'm being completely honest. It got voter fatigue when he won, 2 or 3 in a row, and then, like, the next skip a year, then it's like he got one more. He should have 5 or 6, totally. He should easily have 5 or 6. But when it comes to playoff time, I'm worried about LeBron. I'm worried about Luka. I'm worried about the matchups. Austin Reeves, Dalton Connect in the corner. Shout out Dalton Connect. Other than that, it's like, okay, where is their depth at? All this kind of stuff. I don't know. Is Jackson Hayes going to be able to guard Jokic? No. But, I mean, JJ Redick had a great plan for Jokic the other weekend when fucking Lakers beat us. No, I think Michael Malone was like, okay, we see what's happening. We're going to just do this instead of that. I think there is an easy fix. Maybe not an easy fix, but there is a counter tactic to JJ Redick's defensive plan. I really do. I don't know. That's where I'm at right now. I'm a little worried about the Lakers. I think OKC is going to be a tough out regardless. They have great guards up top, offensively and defensively. They got the bigs to go around. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is probably going to win an MVP this year. Other than that, it's like, who else is going to come out of the West? Maybe Dallas, not anymore. You got the Lakers, Nuggets, OKC, fucking Kings. I'm a little worried about the Warriors. Steph Curry making another run. I mean, that Warriors team with Jimmy Butler now, you know, they're gonna get a good shot at a lot of people. I don't even know, man. I don't even know who's on these. I legitimately have no idea. If the playoffs were to start today in the Western Conference, who's it gonna be? I mean, the Knicks. I'm not really worried about the Knicks in the East. I'm not worried about the Bucks. The Bucks have been so quiet. I fuck around with the Pistons. I like the Pistons. Pistons and Cade Cunningham. I fuck with Cade Cunningham a lot. I think he's really good. The Magic. Paolo got hurt, so he had to take some time off. I mean, that was a month or two ago, but I like the Magic. Bulls are ass. I mean, OKC, Lakers, Nuggets. Houston is scary. Grizzlies, I'm not really worried about. Houston is scary. Clippers or whatever. Timberwolves, obviously. And the Suns could sneak in. I mean, Dallas isn't going to win out. Dallas is probably going to lose the next 10 games out of the last 20. Suns going a little run there? Maybe. Houston, I am worried about. I will say that. Houston is a solid basketball team. They got something going on down in Houston right now. For sure, they have something going on in Houston right now. Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, that rookie from Kentucky who's been balling out the last couple games. Sengun. I like Houston. Houston's solid. They make me a little nervous, you know, if they have to come to us or they have to come to them or whoever they're going to. Houston makes me nervous because they have some depth. They are pretty good offensively. They can score with the best of you. So yeah. I'm a little worried about Houston. Again, Golden State's up there too. Timberwolves make me nervous just because of Ant and just going to Minnesota. I don't like going to Minnesota. They have a great environment. Rudy Gobert, Cat was kind of the X factor on that team, I think. I think Conley's still really good. But, I mean, they're long and lengthy too. They can play offense and defense. I'm excited for NBA playoffs. March Madness is here. We get through March, we get the championship, and we're kind of going to the playoffs for NBA. This is the cycle that we go in. So yeah. Now, NFL trade rumors, contracts, all this kind of shit. We got a few of them we got to go over. First of all, shout out Saquon. He got a new deal. 2-year, $41.2 million deal. Shout out Saquon. Highest paid running back in NFL history. Well deserved. Shout out Saquon. I think it was like $26 million guaranteed in the next, in both years, which is fucking ridiculous. So shout out Saquon. Fucking deserve it. Do you remember that play against, what was it, the Jaguars? Give a little give a little juke, and then he's backwards and he jumps over the dude. Like, what? How is that even possible? T. Higgins officially got tagged. I said it like 2 weeks ago. They were going to tag him. I saw you guys probably saw the rumors too. T. Higgins getting tagged. I will say, if they were to change one thing I think T. Higgins is going to get paid by someone. It sucks that he continues to get tagged. I know he's getting paid millions of dollars. Shouldn't be worried about playing with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Jamar is going to demand about $40 million, which is fucking ridiculous. You shouldn't be able to back-to-back years franchise tag a player. I thought that was a rule. I must be completely wrong, because last year he got tagged. He's getting tagged this year. Just pay the man or let him walk and go somewhere else. I think it's just crazy. I just don't think you should be able to do that back-to-back years, because it's like, okay, now you're kind of limiting this guy's freedom to go play with another team and try to get paid. Now, if I'm T. Higgins, I'm like, I'm not going to go anywhere that doesn't have a quarterback. Now, you can get the money for sure. I mean, what do you value? Do you want to go win some games, or do you want to get paid? Do you want to? Because if you start losing games, your ass is gonna, and you don't perform, you're gonna get cut. I don't know. I might, if I'm T. Higgins, I'm like, that. It sucks. I'm getting paid millions of dollars. I'm playing with Joe Burrow. We might win a Super Bowl next year. So it's tough. It's a tough decision. I just kind of think it's bullshit that teams can franchise tag player consecutive years. That's all I think. Myles Garrett is in the news. The scuttlebutt around Myles Garrett is Bills are after him. The Eagles are going after him big. The Eagles are making some cuts. They got rid of a couple of their cornerbacks or defensive backs. Darius Slay was one of them that freed up about $4.2 million. It looks like he's going to the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to make a good run at him for sure. The Browns are going to ask a lot for Myles Garrett. What is he, 29, 30 years old, something like that? Dude's a freak of nature. If he goes to the Bills, what does that mean for Vaughn? You keep Vaughn. I don't know. You can definitely see Vaughn isn't prime Vaughn anymore. Von Miller. I'm referring to Von Miller. Hey, chat. When I say Vaughn, it's short for Von Miller. If you know, you know. I think it's crazy. It looks like he's going to the Eagles. Eagles are making some room for him. They're releasing players left and right on that defensive side. Maybe not left and right, but a couple of them. I think the Bills will have to give up too much to go get him. Next one is Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson wants to be a long-term Jet. He's asking for about $30 million a year. That's the rumor. Now, Garrett Wilson, $30 million a year. I like him. I think he's a good receiver, but between you and me, I don't think he's really done much. He's a good receiver. He's not right now he's not a diva, but like, what is he? He's had that one catch in the back of the end zone. That was one hand. And he's a phenomenal football player, but like, it's a what have you done for me lately kind of business. So it's like, Garrett Wilson, what have you done for the Jets? Granted, Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. He came back this year. I mean, he had a good year, right? But $30 million worth a year? I don't know, man. Now, let's take a step back and be like, New York taxes, they're taking 52% of every dollar that you make. So, fair. Ask for the max. I get you. I see where you're coming from, Garrett Wilson. My bad. Game, respect game. I see it. Ask for that. Ask for $35 million. Ask for $35 million. Why not? If taxes are the problem, ask for $50 million. I get it though. It's a what have you done for me now league, and it's like, I think Garrett Wilson could. I mean, the Jets are releasing players too. Alan Lazard got permission to look for a trade. They released Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams is going to follow Aaron Rodgers again, which I don't get. I get it for a give me my stats kind of thing, but if Devontae Adams wants to win a ring, which I think Aaron Rodgers still can do, I say hesitantly because 41 coming off an Achilles injury. I don't know. I'm not going to doubt Aaron Rodgers because he's that guy that's going to like listen to a clip like this and be like, fuck that guy. I'm going to go win a Super Bowl. And in the back of my head, I'm going to be smiling and thinking about this one guy because he saw this clip. So it's like, I think he could do it, but I think he'd have to have the supporting cast. I think he'd have to have an all-star defense, not an average defense. But yeah, I don't know. Jets are clearing up cap space. Jets are in full rebuild mode. I think they're going to do good things in the next couple of years because of that defensive coordinator that came from the Lions, the head coach there now. His name escapes me. Wore the glasses, DBs, called the defense for the Detroit Lions. My bad, coach. I should know your name. I can see your face. Does that count? It should. It should count for something. Let's look it up. New York Jets head coach. Aaron Glenn, I apologize. Aaron Glenn is going to do something great there. I have a feeling in my bones about it. I think he's learned a lot the last few years from Dan Campbell and see what he built there. I think he's going to be a good head coach. I think he's clearing house, getting the bullshit, getting the noise out, focusing on ball. That's what we like, Aaron Glenn. That's what we like. DK might get moved from the Seahawks. Rumors around the Packers sent out a trade for him. I didn't know he was on the block, if I'm being honest. I like DK. Here's the thing. If they trade DK, though, if the Seahawks trade DK, it's kind of like, okay, what are we doing here? Because we just got rid of arguably our best offensive weapon, and Geno Smith isn't a top-tier quarterback. He's an average quarterback in my mind. Shout out, but Geno, came back. He made a comeback for sure. Should be comeback player of the year. Last year or the year before that, whatever that going off year was. But if you get rid of DK, it's kind of saying like, hey, we're going to rebuild stuff because new head coach last year was his rookie year. Geno can get you through about another year or so. Then you can kind of like, hey, should we go get a quarterback? Is Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold isn't getting franchised by the Vikings. So what's going to happen in Minnesota? They're going to run with Michigan boy. What's his name? Dude, I'm terrible with names. I am absolutely terrible with names. Vikings quarterback. I am absolutely terrible. J.J. McCarthy. There it is. Sam Darnold did not get tagged. And they're not going to tag him. That's the scuttlebutt on the streets. So yeah, DK getting traded, it's kind of like, ooh, it's kind of an eerie thing to do. Debo is a Commander. 49ers gave up a 5th round pick for Debo, or to trade Debo, or whatever. Commanders gave 49ers a 5th round pick for Debo, which maybe is it too much or is it too little? Is it too much or too little for Debo? I think it's too. I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence about this one because when you look at it, Debo didn't have a good year last year. Now you can look at the 49ers as a whole and be like, they got the injury bug like a motherfucker. People were out left and right for weeks on end. Debo was in and out of the lineup. Brock Purdy had to stand in there with no Peters on his left tackle. I mean, 49ers are kind of going to run into some hell here pretty soon if they don't figure it out. And this is kind of one of the things they had to figure out. I like it for the Commanders because Debo is that, X factor. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. He can do everything on offense. He can line up in the backfield. He can line up in the slot. He's going to win the route. He's going to make at least a couple cuts in a hole. It's good for Jane Daniels just to have like kind of that security blanket. We hope. I had Debo on my fantasy team last year. He had drops. He had lots and lots of drops. I think he led the league in drops last year. So that's kind of where like the 5th round pick is like, hey, we'll give you a pick, but it's not going to be a good one. It's going to be that late round kind of stuff. I still think it's a lot for Debo, if I'm being honest. I would have been like, hey, here's a 7th, and we can throw in a 7th round pick and some cash. I don't know. I want nothing but the best for Diego because he was an absolute dog for a while. Those few years that he was running the ball, before he got that big-ass contract for them 49ers, he was an absolute dog. I hope he goes back to that. I really do. And then just some draft combine news. What was the deal with Shedeur Sanders? I didn't really read into it, but it just kept popping up on my feed, and I was like, what's going on here? So apparently the teams that were talking to him because he's a top 5 pick. Him and Cam Ward are top 5 picks. Him and Cam Ward kind of did the same thing. They kind of turned, quote unquote, not my words, what I read, they turned off teams. Like in the interview process, they weren't, I don't know, they weren't answering their questions. They were being short-sighted. I have no idea, but teams came back and they're like, we didn't like that. It's like, bro, watch the film. How about that? You don't like his personality? He's going to make you millions of dollars, and he's probably going to win you some games because you don't have a franchise quarterback at the moment. So what the fuck do you want him to do? These guys are going to be mean to these teams because it's like, bro, they don't want to go here. They're just going to shoot you straight because they're going to get paid millions of dollars. They're going to play football, and then you don't have a team around him or a coaching staff around these players to succeed. So if they give you some dickhead answers, that's just what it is because they don't want to go there. They're just going to be playing ball, which they love. They're going to be making money, which everyone loves. But it's like, I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a fucking problem with it. That was the mic. That was not a fart. That was the mic. But I don't have a problem with it. If they said some crazy stuff and they were telling people fuck you to the face, then okay, we might have a small problem. But maybe not small. That'd be a problem for sure. But it's just like, I don't know. I don't have, if that's the way it went down, then that's the way it went down. These teams shouldn't be coming out complaining about it because if you're going to spend a first round pick on a quarterback, it sounds like you need a quarterback or even one of these potential franchise quarterbacks. Take it with a grain of salt then. How about you put a team around the quarterback and let him succeed as well? That's it. I don't know. I think it's going to be, Travis or Shedeur, or Travis or Cam Ward, and then it's going to go Shedeur. It's going to be somewhere in that order, then an offensive lineman or a defensive tackle somewhere in there as well. Those are going to be the first 5 picks. That's all the news I got. We are in March. It's March Madness. We're going to be watching games within the next week or two. I mean, we got games going on right now. It's March. We got TGL. I don't know if you guys are watching TGL, the Tuesday night golf league or whatever it is. It's pretty entertaining if you're a golf fan. It's just cool to see the players do something completely different, and they're crushing it. Especially when the big names come up on like the Tuesday nights. It's cool to watch. It's definitely really cool to watch. Okay, the shit that grinds my gears, man. How do I describe this? Now, this might be different state by state. Here in Colorado, you have 2 lanes. Well, more than 2 lanes, obviously. But you have a left turn lane, a straight lane, and then you got the right turn lane. To turn right. You're at a red light. You pull up to it in the right lane, right? You're turning right on this road. There's traffic coming from the left, all that kind of stuff. You're at the red light, traffic, but then it's like it clears up on the inside lane. The outside lane, sure, like there's a couple cars coming, but turn into the inside lane, man. Just turn into the inside lane. That's what it's there for. Now, if you're a terrible driver and you're going to turn if you're a terrible driver and turn out to the outside lane and get an accident, that's on you. That means you're a shitty driver. But it just grinds my gears when I'm sitting there behind someone and the inside lane is wide open. It's wide open. I can see there's no cars coming in the inside lane. Mile down. There's cars in the outside lane. They're not allowed to change lanes in the intersection. So if you start to turn while they're in the intersection, that's their fault. And they hit you, that's their fault. It's the shit that grinds my gears, man. And it happens so much. And it probably happens around the country. It really does. But it just grinds my gears to no end when I'm sitting there looking at traffic. Like, bro, I'm trying to get out in traffic too. I have patience, but when you see no one's coming, No, if you need to get to the other side lane and like go left, I'll let you slide until I see you go left. I might be mother effing you until you get over there and be like, okay, fine, whatever. But it's just like, bro, just turn in the inside lane, please. Just give it blinkers on, come to a complete stop, see no one's coming. By all means, take your time turning in that lane. As long as you're turning into that inside lane, just if no one's coming. Just it's that kind of stuff. There was another one too. I forgot what the other one was. Shit that grinds my gears is gonna be the end of the episode during non-football football times, or if I have some during the football times. But shit that grinds my gears is that turn in the inside lane if you see no one's coming. Come to a complete stop. If the light's red, by all means. But let's be vigilant too. And if you see them slowing down, that means our light's going green, brother. Now again, someone could be turning left, but they're turning into the inside. They're turning into their inside lane, so you turn into your inside lane. Whatever. Like, subscribe, comment, do what you got to do. Appreciate you listening. Appreciate you watching. Like, comment, subscribe.